Okay, so this is Disturbing Puppet coming back once again with some Blood Bowl 2. I looked at some stuff yesterday after I streamed, kind of had tested out. Yesterday was my first stream, this will be my second. Okay, so this is Disturbing Puppet coming back once again with some Blood Bowl 2. I looked at some stuff yesterday after I streamed, kind of had tested out. Yesterday was my first stream, this will be my second. So, hopefully everything's working okay. In listening yesterday, I had seen that my recording was a little weird with the volume, so I'm trying to speak a little bit louder. I'm just using the microphone on my laptop. Now I'm getting an echo, so hold on a second. My recording was a little weird with the volume, so I'm trying to speak a little bit louder. I'm just using the microphone on my laptop. Now I'm getting an echo, so hold on a second. Yeah, I'm not sure why I'm getting an echo. Everything's going to set up the same as I did before. Kind of strange. I'll try this. Hopefully that'll work. Okay, so what I'm doing is just kind of doing the next game with my Chaos Dwarf team. Continuing from what I did yesterday. Just trying to be a little bit louder speaking today, make it a little bit more clear. Do have the sound kind of up as well, so hopefully that's okay. So I've got my Chaos Dwarf team. Today I'm going to be playing Halfling team, which I played before once, and really beat the snot out of him. I think I killed a couple of his players last time. Halflings, along with goblins, they have a skill called Stunty, so they take more damage when they get hurt, or more likely to get more hurt. So take a look at the enemy team here that I'll be playing. So I'm just looking to see if anyone has increased stats. I don't see anything, so mainly we're looking at skills. So we've got some people with sidestep. I really do wish it just listed the skill names. Like I mentioned before, got a guy with block, and sprint, sure feet, not a bad choice. Treemen look like they have kind of the standard. Maybe Juggernaut added there, maybe. So a quick rundown on my team, just to kind of show. I did add a Hobgoblin after the last game. He's got no skills. I had 4 others before, most of whom have sure hands. Some of them who got doubles and upgrades, got dodge. Bull Centaurs, I've added block to both of them. Everything else the same. No stat increases anywhere. And then all my Chaos Dwarf blockers have leveled up, and I've added guard to all of them. So let me just take a quick look at the stream here again, make sure everything's working. Okay, seems like everything's doing okay. if there's anything weird going on with sound or the game volume is too high or something, if somebody puts something in the chat, let me know. I'll take a look at that occasionally. So here we'll go. Go ahead and start the match.
Everybody ready? The match is about to start.
I do have a higher rating, so my opponent's going to get some money for some upgrades or things. He's going for an extra reroll. It's fine. No problem with that.
Are you ready, Bob?
I was born ready, Jim.
So again, like I said before, I'm an old board game Blood Bowl player. Played Blood Bowl on my 360 a lot as well. I've kind of upgraded to a gaming laptop instead of to an Xbox One X or PS4. So I figured why not stream if I'm going to play.
They got one of those stunty cooks making a stew.
Nice weather to play Blood Bowl. This team has been working and training harder than a
Since I do have tackle with most of my blockers, I don't have to worry too much about the dodge with all the stunty guys.
Such an unequal rating. It's gonna be wholesale slaughter.
Well, looks like a couple star players, but I didn't see them pop up in the selection. I'll have to take a look at them. Star players always make things more complicated. Try to do what you can to knock them out. I usually take defense first just because I want to get the ball in the second half. So he's got a Halfling Master Chef who steals one of my rerolls, which that didn't pop up either. So let's take a look at his star players here. It's a 3 strength. Block, dodge. We've got an elf player with a 4 strength. And dauntless. Huh. Okay. With the treeman, it's a little dangerous to be on the front line, but I don't really have a lot of choice. 6 strength is difficult to deal with. If it was 5, I could handle it a lot better. 6 makes it really difficult. Spread out a little bit so my tackle zones cover more area. Setup is pretty important. A lot of people might rush through it, but it's one of the more important steps in kind of figuring out your tactics and what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. Kind of paying attention to who has what skills that are on the board. I'm going to swap out the more experienced players for less experienced players. If I can, anyway. And I'm going to throw my new guy out here as well in the back. Sort of emergency position. That way he'll take part in the game, might get an MVP, just give him star player points to level up, or at least get a chance to use some skills, throw some blocks or fouls, that kind of thing. So this is a pretty standard kind of defensive setup that I often use. Kicking team does set up first, so you're at a disadvantage. You can't really see what the opponent's going to do yet. I'm going to probably get hammered on the front line here. For kicking, I pretty much always just go for the center position unless there's somebody dangerous in that area. So let's see what he does. And again, I'm Disturbing Puppet. Thank you very much for showing up, checking out the stream. I may upload this to my YouTube channel later at some point, which I will throw up a stream there eventually, just so it doesn't disappear off Twitch completely and be gone forever. And that's Disturbing Puppet on YouTube as well.
He's sprinting. Let's hope it's going to be okay.
Not up to much today.
And a lot of die rolls there. He has a lot of rerolls. That's about my best result. Just getting a push. These treemen are really dangerous, very problematic, tough to deal with.
Two big goons that get together and fall on you. It can really hurt.
Smack.
With the treemen, really your best tactic is to just get away from them if you can. If you have a really tough, strong team, you might be able to take them on, but it can be really difficult. In the board game, I played Undead, and they were pretty good at being able to take them on because you have mummies that start with a 5 strength, which is one of the highest for regular players. So with an assist, you can go an even block kind of thing. But it's pretty difficult with most other players to deal with that kind of thing. If you have dwarves with Dauntless, that's always an option. Chaos dwarves don't have anybody that starts with Dauntless like the Troll Slayers do. So what am I going to do here? Typically you want to do safe things first. You want to figure out kind of where you're going to attack and how. So if you're just moving adjacent to people, that kind of thing, well, why not?
Need to be close. So close they can smell your
Just kind of
breath
making
and
things
see
more
the
difficult
benefits
for
of
him.
it.
I don't want to be able to blow through the center here either, but if I can keep on my feet there, it should make things difficult. Blitzing with a dwarf instead of a bull centaur because they do have the tackle, so it increases my chances against these guys who have dodge. I'm just going to move in a position where I might be able to make a play on the ball, get a little bit away from the treeman. At least cause some problems here, if I can.
Now that's a holding maneuver, if ever I saw one.
He'll get an assist now. Wuss.
For right now, didn't really have a lot of chance to throw much blocks, but kind of piercing his line here, maybe threatening a little bit, so we'll see what we can do.
They're building a cage around the ball here. It's a solid tactic.
So yeah, they're trying to guard the ball here as much as they can. With agile teams, they'll tend to try to sneak around, get out quickly, break away from your guys. With the dwarves being as slow as they are, you do have to kind of prepare well ahead of time for what the opponent might do. Take that into account because you're so slow to react because your movement is so low. So you don't want to overcommit.
Has forgotten to water his baobab.
Okay, that's a little weird. Okay, AI will sometimes do a little bit of questionable things, but nothing too crazy that time. So we've got easy blocks here. And I will follow up here, getting closer to the edge. He's not in a bad position here at all. Let's go ahead and try to get in here, mess up his formation, cause some problems. And knocked out, nice.
So early in the match? Hey, I might actually start paying attention.
Halflings, you do have a +1 rolling for injuries against them. They are more likely to get knocked out, injured. So if you can hit them around, knock them around, foul them, anything like that that you can do, you can really do a lot of damage to them, take opponents' team down, kind of whittle them down as you go through the game. We'll just kind of square off here. I don't want to over commit on the side and not be able to deal with anything. He'll probably get knocked flat by that guy, but you at least want to make it so he has to make a lot of die rolls to do what he wants to do. I'll move a Hobgoblin up as well. Possible assists. Maybe be able to grab the ball if I can get it loose.
Safety in numbers.
Just kind of hang out here so I have some coverage with tackle zones, covering the area, keeping him deep just in case. These guys I can't really do much with. Honestly, I'd like them to get knocked away from these guys. I could potentially try to make a dodge roll to get away, but it's not really worth it. I'm more likely to get hurt doing that than I am really getting smacked around by him. And we'll keep him busy for now, so that'll be it for this turn.
He's coming to help his buddy. That's good.
So just a push, it's alright.
One less annoyance to deal with.
So he's going to try to reform a little cage here around him if he can with his free guys.
reminds me of the famous story of Nurgling and the Great Unclean. But this time, no miracle.
So this is something you see sometimes, the AI being very aggressive and blocking when it has negative strength, and I get to choose the result. You almost never see an actual human player do that, but the AI I've noticed in this game does that quite a lot. And if you mess up something like that, turnover. So, yeah. I must have had diving tackle or something there, trying to do some damage. So I'm actually going to pull him away, since I can. So again, trying to do sort of the safe things first. Trying to look at where you want to put your guys. Thinking about it before you make a lot of moves. With the Bruiser team, like Chaos Dwarves, Undead, you can just start smacking guys around though. Sometimes it's fairly safe to do that. And it helps kind of open up pathways for people. Gives you more options of what you might want to do.
Yeah, smells like a good old-fashioned fight.
Kind of locking down some of his guys here, so I at least have these guys a little bit more isolated. So safe things first, important things next. Typically what you want to do in Blood Bowl. Turnovers can be a real problem. There's our first injury. Nice. I might as well use a blitz here. Take out the ball carrier if I can.
All this focus on the ball is
Or not.
the spirit of the game. Give me more random violence.
I'm just going to throw some guys up here and make things more difficult. Yeah, these 3 dice options are really tempting. We'll just go ahead and do that. That's too bad. Just a push. I'll stay where I'm at, actually. Just in case, I'm going to move him down. Away from the tree man too, so we'll at least have somebody else down here in case he slips through, have a chance at doing something, kind of keep them contained. And another knocked out.
Let the bed bugs bite. Really, don't let them. They're massive and can take your hand right off.
I'm going to shift the goblin over a little bit. So I have a little bit better coverage down here. If he continues this direction, also means I've got really just kind of this pathway here he could slip through. There's no tackle zones. More on the edge. If he comes this way, it's a little better for me because I can hit him with my dwarf. So I'm fairly happy with that. Got things relatively contained. You can see he does have extra halflings here. So So even if he's down some guys, he'll be able to have some replacements, at least at the beginning.
Come on, guys. Together.
Yeah, throwing a one-on-one block like that, really dangerous. I don't even really do that much unless it's really desperate. With Dwarves or Chaos Dwarves, it's not too dangerous because you do have a lot of skills, block and tackle, that makes that a little safer. Or anyone who has block makes it a little safer if it's straight up die roll. But typically it's something I wouldn't recommend you do. Just kind of move him on up. Dwarves, especially compared to teams like Skaven or Wood Elves that can throw the ball, Skaven very fast runners, you're really slow in comparison. They're probably easier for a starting player to use because a lot of it's just beating up your opponents and kind of going from there and figuring out what you're going to do after beating things up. But the agile teams can be pretty fun, but they're very dangerous for a slow team like Dwarves. So you've got a lot of skills to offset it.
They're going for the ball. They can dislodge.
But you really have to think about what you're going to do down the road, being in a better position. He ended up with the ball? No, okay. Move my bull centaur on up here. Keep these guys hung up. So again, with this kind of team, you can just throw some blocks, see what happens, see what you can open up. With other more agile teams, you have to be a lot more kind of careful with what you do and how you do it. Opening up positions, you're not going to be throwing as many blocks, doing a lot more dodging. So I'm just going to kind of knock this guy around. Another KO! The bigger guys, you have to kind of carefully check and make sure no one's actually adjacent to you. Sometimes it's hard to see. Might as well try to pick up the ball.
Nice catch. Now go on, buddy.
He's pretty hung up, so I am just going to kind of move on down. I don't really need as much of a cage to protect me. I probably won't score right away because I have an opportunity to sort of beat up his guys here a bit. Maybe throw some fouls. Sort of moving away from the tree men here. And I'm actually going to move him up, so I might be able to be in a position to throw a foul with him, something like that. I could still throw a block back here. I do have 2 dice. He doesn't have block, so yeah, why not?
That's it. Force them back and then pow.
Not too bad.
Come on, guys. Team spirit is the key. Well, except for me, obviously.
Let's see what the other side can do.
So he's trying to make an opening there, going for kind of an iffy roll, and gets punished for it. So like here, I can definitely score right now if I want to. It's my 5th turn. The opponent has 3 turns left. Turn management, something you want to keep in mind. Against a human player, I don't often sort of hang out near the end zone and just beat the crap out of the opposing team, but against the AI, absolutely, why not? You kind of feel bad, especially playing against your friends when it's a board game in person. Maybe not so much if you're playing a computer game or online or something. Somebody standing there. Yeah, there is. Okay.
That's it. Get in their face.
Got 3 dice here. Another 3 dice. It's very bad for halflings. Much more likely to get you knocked down. Much more likely to injure you. Once you're on the ground, then I've got the option of fouling you as well. Which is kind of what I'm looking at here is this 4-strength elf guy. I would like to foul if possible. Be nice to get him out of there. Leaving him here isn't a bad idea. He's going to get up next turn. So he can only really reach the same position that the Hobgoblin hand can for fouling. So I'm just going to put him here. There's my new Hobgoblin here for foul. 72% chance. Why not? I do like the Hobgoblin fouling animation. Just a stun. Well, my die didn't get taken off, so that's good. There's a chance that you'll get called off by the ref and you're out for the rest of the game if you get caught fouling. You can see this. Nobody down by the treeman. These guys are kind of a waste at this point. The 2 movement, they can't really get much of anywhere to do anything. So once you can kind of move away from them, you're pretty much okay. And I'm going to leave him here to cover this guy in case he gets up and tries to make a run for the ball carrier. And see, I kind of have his remaining halflings here all surrounded. So it's very easy to throw blocks or do some fouling. Okay, he failed the going for it roll, it looks like, even though it showed my guy hitting him.
Is approximately the same size as his entire opponent.
His Juggernaut skill, since I've got block and he doesn't, is what's allowing him to actually do something there, not get taken out. Again, it's kind of hard to see. This guy's down. Who's down, who's up? A little hard to see sometimes. I'm just going to stand him up. I thought about maybe using him to foul, but I'd rather have my guy with no skills take the risk if I'm going to foul again. Everybody's sort of down on the ground here. This guy's down. Player's down. Down. He's the only one here standing. So I'll go from this direction so we can push him that way, unless he's got sure feet. Or a block, he'll just go down in that space, and another injury. So it is nice to play against these kind of teams if you want to get a lot of start player points. You have a much better chance. I've got enough guys with guard here. I can throw blitz with my bull centaur, have a couple dice against him, be even with one of my regular dwarves. And we'll go with the blitz option here. He doesn't have block, and I do. Well, that's alright. I don't need it. So again, I can move if I want to. Kind of depends on who I want to foul. Do I want to foul the tree man? Do I want to foul one of the hobgoblins or one of the halflings? Halflings are easier. There's also this 4 strength star player. Wouldn't mind hurting him. Just gonna move up here. And I think we're going to try to foul this guy again. Yeah, still just stunned. But I don't get called off, so that's alright. You can only do 1 foul action per turn. 1 blitz action per turn. Kind of limits what you can do a little bit, but not too bad. So again, watching turns, I'm on turn 6. Opponent has 2 turns left. So at this point, I'm just kind of eating away, using time. So I'll be able to score. He'll get the ball back when he won't be able to take a turn or only has 1 turn left and can't possibly score. Turn management can be pretty important sometimes. In this case, I've got things pretty well under control. No, he didn't even stand up. So again, do I not throw some blocks?
Is this going to be enough to come out on?
Yeah, I still only get a push.
That's quite a mess. Even Cinch would struggle to untangle that.
Just trying to get some more injuries. Staying because this guy's here. Because I'm probably not going to run it in this turn. I could. It's not a big deal if I do or don't, either way. So really just a matter of who do I want to foul. How many people I can get adjacent, that kind of thing. I'm going to kind of reposition him on this side of this guy, make it harder for him to get away. This time I'm going for this guy here to foul.
What's that then?
Rounded agony. And here comes the other team.
Yeah, just a stun.
The player
That's too bad.
He's gonna have to join the RPP straight after the game.
The RPP.
The referee
And of course, getting cut is a turnover.
fans are furious.
So you can see this is his last turn of the half. Diving tackle thing again. So in this case, again, I could throw some blocks and stuff, but being the last turn, I mean, I do have rerolls. It's very tempting, at least against the halfling. So I'll go ahead and do that. But throwing a foul at this point, I would not do. Why not here too?
It's going to be decisive.
Yeah, he moved exactly where I would have put him because then I could throw a block with him too. It's very odd.
Comes before the fall.
Since I've got block and he doesn't.
Two big goons that get together and fall on you. It can really hurt. I've seen granite fracture more easily than that kid's head.
Yeah. Not too surprised not getting an injury there. So we'll just kind of run it in here, get the point. With really fast agile teams, you sometimes might want to not waste time or hold up the opponent team like that, because you can just kind of run in. Yeah, the problem is getting the ball away from your opponent. If you can get the ball away from your opponent, you might as well just run it in as often as you can. You get more star player points that way, get your guys to advance. Skaven kind of work that way. To some extent, maybe Wood Elves if you can get the ball away from the opponent. So now I'm up 1-0. I took a bunch of time at the beginning of the half, and I'm going to get the ball back. Unfortunately, I was knocked out, guys. Just back. So I'll have the ball here, be able to do something.
Would I want to return to the game?
So at this point, the kicking team does set up first. So this is definitely how he's kind of set. So you can definitely use it to your advantage to decide how you want to set up your guys, where you want to put your guys. I don't know why it uses this kind of goofy starting setup. I think you can adjust it, but I just never bother saving any particular setups. So with all my dwarves being the same, it doesn't really matter about positioning. Nobody has different skills, that kind of thing. The hobgoblins will be more careful about who's set up where. So yeah, I could potentially just leave this whole front area here empty, but I do have to have at least 3 people on the front line. So I don't want to make it too weak, but kind of looking at how am I going to block, where am I going to hit, who's going to be free to move. All things you want to consider. Since I'll be receiving the ball, having guys with dodge up here isn't a bad idea.
Bit of a lull. What are you up to, Bob?
I'm thinking about what to have for lunch. Roast elf heart or baked halfling legs. Yummy.
Okay, so make sure that's sure hands. My other guy here also has sure hands. So I could swap out one of these dwarves for my other hobgoblin and then have them kind of one here, one here. So depending on where the ball goes, I have someone who can go get it pretty much anywhere. But I kind of want to hurt as many of his players as possible, so that's why I'm using all of my dwarf blockers. So this should be okay. Before I continue, let me really quickly check the stream, make sure everything's looking okay. Okay. Everything looks fine. And there's an odd graphical glitch.
Well, it has to be scoring my first touchdown, Jim. You see, I just ripped the head off this kid who'd given me some.
Okay, that's kind of weird. Didn't really give a chance to move somebody.
I shoved the ball down his throat and then lobbed his whole body into the end zone.
So in this case, of course, I'm trying to grab this and might as well go this way. So sort of a safe thing here. Just move him up.
They've gone into the opponent's tackle zone. Should be good.
So I'm just trying to make some more openings.
They just got home. That's what the cool kids are saying these days, isn't it?
Gonna tie him up a little bit. I'll move around this way so that I can block, push him towards the sidelines, and maybe eventually knock him out of bounds. Either way, he's got dodge, so we just get a push. I don't have tackle with him to offset that. Got another injury. Looks like he's going to level up too. And so we'll just tie up another guy here. Sort of move up here for safety. I'm going to move him down the field so that he's in a position where possibly I could get over to him. At least he might be viewed as a threat by the opponent, so he might move at least one of these guys in his direction instead of moving over this way. With a faster team, you can kind of pretend to go one way, shift back to the other. Hobgoblins are okay speed-wise, so you might be able to do that. You might need to try to pass or get some guys with passing skills to try to do that. And we'll just try to pick up the ball.
I suppose I should say something memorable or funny here.
So at this point, I'm just going to kind of hang out here with some supports. We'll move up here, actually. A little bit further away from the treeman that way.
right next to a teammate. Two big goons that get together and fall on you. It can really hurt. Go big guy. Trample all over.
Yeah, these kind of hits, you just hope. No injuries, no injuries, no injuries. Please, no injuries. Okay, he's pulling back with him. Yeah, so he's moving from one to the other. He wants to try to cover him if he can. It's not a bad idea. Things like that to keep an eye out for. Especially against really fast teams. It's something you really want to watch out for if they've got somebody creeping into their movement and distance of the end zone. They might be trying to do something sneaky.
More the merrier.
So again, sort of safe things first. And try to hang up as many of his guys here as I can. I'm actually going to just blitz like this guy. Blitzing with these guys who have tackle is a little bit better than with the Bull Centaur because of the abilities they've got. So either one of these is an opponent down. Because I've got the tackle skill, kind of negates their dodge. Knockout, nice.
Yes, the unmistakable sign of a player's eyes rolling up into his head.
Now it does kind of do this where it switches away. I can still move him if I want to, but he's in tackle zones and things, so not going to be trying to dodge out of that or anything. I'll leave him here on this guy, but I'm going to shift him over. I've got kind of a free block here, so why not? That's why not, but I haven't used a team roll yet, reroll yet, so it's fine. I have had times where it comes up, attacker down, the two skulls, and then you do a reroll, and it comes up again, exact same thing. Something I definitely noticed in the Xbox 360 version of the game that came out before the first was that if you played on the hard mode, it seemed like it really just changed the die rolls against you. It didn't really change the AI, what it did, how it did it, any of that kind of stuff. It just sort of made it kind of cheaty die rolls to make things more difficult, so kind of an artificial difficulty. So really, because the guards around here, I could possibly move him here. It would be relatively safe. Out here wouldn't be too bad. Here wouldn't be too bad. I'm not in a rush to score. I'm just going to move here for now. It's a pretty safe position. We could potentially blitz with this guy or do some crazy stuff with the stunty ability to get through. And here, why not throw a block?
Tasty.
And I'm going to stay, which I'm kind of freed up now. He may then just dodge away to try to cover him. I don't think he'll take that bait, but you never know. He's got some dodge rolls here he's got to go through, and he made it.
You'll need to get the ball forward.
Very, very aggressive. I would never do this kind of thing. He just gets a push, so it's fine. But
There's no harm.
really, really dangerous to try to do that. Almost never see an actual human player do something like that.
That's kind of the point.
If they're really desperate, maybe. He likes doing that dive and tackle. Dwarves have pretty good armor, so they're not in too much danger. Oh, Loner messing him up. Down he goes. It's one of the reasons I don't like Loner that much. Makes it so there's a chance that you won't be able to use a reroll on that character if you use him. So now we're in a pretty good position. Provided I get decent blocks anyway. So we'll start down here. Just gotta free things up a little bit. Again, he doesn't have tackle, so I can't really do much other than just push him around.
You won't leave him alone anytime soon.
With those results anyway. He's got block and I don't. That's a little dangerous. So he might be worth blitzing with somebody.
They're gathering around that lone player, like halflings round a sandwich.
I honestly could just leave these two down here on the ground. These guys are so slow it wouldn't make much difference. That's kind of tempting to do, actually. But I don't want them coming over to kind of mess with what I've got going on here, where I can sort of beat up his guys. So we'll keep them occupied. If you're on the sidelines, it's sometimes not a bad idea as well to just leave your guy on the ground instead of getting him up if he's got a bunch of guys lined up ready to hit you and knock you off the field. Yeah, I do like this. If I can get a block, if I get a push, I can move him here, then I can possibly knock him off with him.
Not really, Jim.
If I do a blitz, I've got to sort of push him out this way if I don't get a chance to knock him on his butt.
You had to ask permission. Fill out a form and triplicate. These players have got it so lucky.
I do have a better chance of taking him down with him, so I'm going to go ahead and use him that way.
That's it. Get in their face.
This player likes to be well assisted.
Yep, I needed it.
It's like peeling an onion.
KO.
He's away with the fairies. Better watch out. They're murderous little beasts.
Move up a little bit. So he's only got one guy on his feet here. I could move him here, where he's relatively safe. I could push him as far as I can. We'll just kind of hang out here where it's a little safer. Like I said, I'm not in a rush at this point. Move him up so I might be able to use him at some point. Throw a block here as well. And I could foul here with a pretty good chance of success, so why not?
Stomping on the player's neck with the sleeves that hard.
Oh, injury, nice. And he's losing a point of strength there, so some permanent damage. And I don't get called off the field by the ref. These guys aren't getting up this next turn. So I'm just going to move up here. So he can't use his dodge skill to get away from this position, at least not the first dodge anyway. As you can see, things are piling up over here on the side. Pretty typical if you're fighting a halfling team, goblin team. And you're playing a bruiser team anyway. Agile team, maybe you're not beating them up so bad. But if you're playing undead, dwarves, chaos, any of that, you're really going to beat them up. And do a lot of damage, probably. And there's that dodge failure, so he's got to use a reroll. He's got a lot. And again, throwing a block like that.
If that doesn't work, stab him in the face.
Where I get to pick the result because I've got the higher strength. Very dangerous. If you're really desperate, maybe, but it's really dangerous. So I'm up to turn 12 here. Try to clear the way here a little bit. Because of tackle, I can take him down. Just stay on him. I'll move on down near the egg zone here. I could try to go for it to score now, but I don't really want to. You have to do everything with one player before you move on to another one. So that does kind of affect your decisions sometimes. At this point, I'm not in a rush to score because I do have some chances to throw some blocks or foul. None of my guys are really in danger. If you have people who are in bad positions, it's sometimes a good idea to just score as fast as you can to help save them from the predicament they might be in.
About to get punched above and below the belt at the same time.
This player, the attacker, smells weakness.
So I'm kind of looking at, I've got some guys free here. Who do I want to foul? Probably the 4-strength elf here. I actually never fouled as much as I do with this team. Even playing goblins and that kind of stuff, I would foul occasionally, but hobgoblins, for some reason, I just kind of think of them as players that will foul. So to me, it's sort of, yeah, sure, okay, why not do a foul? In previous games that I've played and previous teams, I never really fouled that much. So looking at who needs points, he needs points. He's already got some extra skills. So he'll be the one that I'll use to foul with. 72% chance.
Red's not looking. He's not looking. Get in there.
And just a stun. So that's it for the turn. Let's see what he's going to do. That's strange.
Will the big one manage to lay out an opponent?
Again, he's blitzing with him. He doesn't have anyone else to blitz with, I guess. And he's got the Juggernaut skill, so it does at least mean he'll do something instead of getting knocked down from that kind of result. Throwing a block there, pretty dangerous, especially when I've got block and he doesn't. So again, I've got a lot of good blocks, fouls, all kind of set up, so it sort of seems like why not do some blocks and fouls? I've got some turns left. Again, against a human opponent, I would probably score a little faster. Especially if it's a friend, you're playing the board game, you're playing in person, you know, it's a little different.
Keep pushing.
KO! Well, let's blitz and hit this guy out here. Oh crap, it reset the blitz action there. Just a misclick on my part, unfortunately. I don't really want to use him as a blitz somewhere else because I want him to sort of be here to deal with this guy if he gets up.
They are down and surrounded by the opposing team. This isn't
Another stun. So now it's safe that I can pull him off and do a blitz with him. KO. And then again, his turn's not over, so I can still move him. Just move him back. These guys might be a little bit of danger. Getting smacked around a bunch. But most of his guys I'm actually knocking out. I'm not really doing damage enough to take him out for the rest of the game or anything.
Because two big guys is always better than one.
With arms like triangles, there was only going to be one result in that spat.
Yeah, thankfully, even with that diving tackle, he's not piling on. That's what he's doing. Still not doing anything. Hey! Turnover. Yeah, I've got freedom. I might as well get away from them. It'll take them more than their movement just to get up. They've got to go for it just to stand up. So, yeah, why not move away from them a little bit? They're super slow, so you can see this guy didn't get up. I don't know if he could, but he might have made the choice not to get him up. Sometimes the AI will make that kind of a decision.
This player likes to be well assisted in a fight.
Takes a skillful player to stay up under such a sustained assault.
Just kind of smacking this guy around a bit. And again, kind of setting up for a foul here. Bring even more guys to bear. And leave him on him in case he gets him up. Back to 83%. Why not? And my guy gets taken off.
And it's outrageous.
I know Bob stamping on the players.
Exchange for just a stun. It's not great.
I can't believe the ref has set someone off.
Sometimes you just gotta roll those dice and hope you get better results. And I'm at a pretty good team advantage at this point, so it's not like I'm too in danger of ever being outnumbered or anything like that. That's surprising. Yeah, both have block, it's fine. So again, just throwing some blocks. I may not want to foul at this point, though.
That's a strike made with technique and precision. It's not always sheer muscle.
Yeah, I could try to foul again if I want to do that, or I could go ahead and score. With 2 turns, he would possibly have a chance to score once. Not super likely. Halflings aren't that fast. Yeah, why not?
The players on the ground. Looks like he's about to kick.
5 gold pieces says he gets...
Yay! Finally got him injured. It's odd I didn't get to see what the injury was. Just that he's injured. So that makes me a little bit happier. That 4 strength guy will be off the field. I don't have to worry about him. So now I'm pretty much totally safe here. I could go with the score, at least give him a chance to have a couple turns, or I could just sit around and not let him have a chance. It would be more sporting just to go ahead and score, probably. So yeah, why not?
The ball is in the end zone, and according to Mother's sacred text, we have a touchdown.
How happy he is. It's impossible not to enjoy these guys, even if they are turning turncoat scumbags.
Any advice, Bob, for the side that's down 2 touchdowns?
Make out your will and check your insurance.
I really do wish they had the different
Away from the
teams
fans.
cheerleaders instead of just the human cheerleaders. No, all those knocked out guys are coming back.
Hey, it's a fresh start. So the carnage can start all over again.
It's going to be hard now that they're outnumbered.
Possession is the key to winning, which must drive the coach crazy, as his team has just kicked it away.
So you can see I've just got my 2 guys who are out there for fouling, and he's got 5 guys out and injured. All those knocked out guys came back, which is unfortunate, but oh well. Yeah, this is fine, I think. It's a very odd formation with the 2 here, which means he might try to throw one of his guys. He's got a guy here right in position where I would normally kick. So I'm actually going to go a little bit over on the side, hopefully. It's really difficult to kick accurately without the kick skill. See where it ends up. You really just don't want it ending up off the field so he gets it to whoever he wants. If it ends up bouncing or being kicked off, then you get to pick who on your team gets to have the ball. No die rolls or anything. The more die rolls your opponent has to make, the better. I don't think I've ever actually seen a successful time when they've picked up someone, a stunty, whether it was a goblin team with a troll throwing them or a halfling with a tree man picking them up, throwing them. I don't think I've ever seen it actually successfully work. And even when I played a goblin team, I don't think I ever got it to work.
There's going to be any action at all in this game. I'd like to see something happen, or I'm just going to go and watch Game of Thrones instead. You didn't expect it. The player is meant to be good. Oh, wait. Something's happening. A
Okay.
prone player is a dead player.
So I just have this 1 turn to do stuff. So at this point, really, there's no way he can score in his turn. I'm just kind of here to do what damage I can, I guess. I'm actually going to throw a block on him here. Why not? And get to the point where I can get 2 dice.
opponent's tackle zone. Should be good.
Unity is strength.
Down he
The
goes.
strength of a bear. Unfortunately, fighting skills of a field though.
Again, I'm sort of angling so I can start pushing towards the edge. It's always a good habit to be in. Yeah, I could even foul the tree man that's down here. Yet another fouling opportunity.
He's not looking. He's not looking. Get in there.
Wow, knocked out a tree man. Okay. All right then. That's it for what I can do. Just see what he tries to do. Human opponent would probably just do nothing, maybe throw a block or two here or there, especially if you're playing a friend in person, which is what I have a lot more experience doing than really playing against people online. But yeah, at least tries to do something. Tries to get the ball and fails, or at least tries to move the ball down the field, even though there's no chance. At least it tries, so that's something.
I mean, I can only count to 3 anyway.
So another victory for the Raging Bulls. So another 80,000. It's not bad. Fan factor up to 10. Fan factor will affect how much money you can make. So we've got a little bit of rundown here. MVPs, so one random player gets 5-star player points, which can help you level up, get more skills. So kind of a brief rundown. I got 2 touchdowns, 32 armor breaks, 2 expulsions. He had 3 armor breaks against me. Statistics. Ball possession, pretty low. I had it a lot. Occupation own half. Occupation opponent's half. This often seems to be like this for me. It's often quite low for own half and high for opponent's half. Not a passing team, so not really doing much passing. Blocks, actually a decent amount of blocks succeeded. 9 KOs, 3 injuries. I thought it seemed like it was more than 3 injuries. There was at least 5 people in the injury box there. Only 46 yards running, but I guess I was able to get it from him and kind of run it in, so I didn't have possession that much. Only 28 blocks sustained, nothing else. Star player point breakdown, he just got the MVP, got nothing else. I got MVP, injuries, touchdown, injury. You can look at the die roll breakdowns too. I usually don't bother. Should be pretty even, often isn't. I don't really keep the replays, so just delete that.
I'm looking forward to these next few matches, Bob.
So I'm in first position here. 4 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses. The Halflings were actually tied with me at 3 wins, 0 losses. Now they've got 3 and 1. This is kind of the second set of a one-off round robin. You can see I've got my team rating is much higher than everybody else. Often that seems to be what happens when I'm playing. I don't necessarily know why that is. This is kind of the mix of teams we've got going on here. So I can look at schedule. So next I'll be playing the Crawling Mashers, which are Nurgle? Chaos. And you can look back and see who won what, how many points, that kind of thing. Sometimes it seems kind of weird when it's AI versus AI sort of deciding how many points the game was won by. So I do have people who've leveled up. This kind of indicates that. It shows me my next opponent. Take a look and see who leveled up. A couple Chaos Dwarf blockers. Okay. See what they get. I already have a lot of really good skills. Dauntless wouldn't be terrible.
Did you know fan memorabilia has a thriving...
Mighty Blow wouldn't be bad.
Players have to be careful, though, as the highest prices are for
Stand Firm isn't bad.
body parts, and the more obsessed collectors
Break
are
Tackle isn't too bad.
waiting for the target player to perish before harvesting them.
And Mighty Blow is very tempting. Dauntless will help you take out those people that are much tougher, strength-wise, and you have to deal with in the front line. Kind of thinking Mighty Blow. Yeah, at least give one Mighty Blow. And then we'll see what we get with the other guy. So you can see if I get a regular roll, that's general or strength. If I get doubles, I can pick agility, passing, or mutation. I haven't rolled any doubles yet with Chaos Dwarves, so I'm kind of interested to see if the mutations are actually shown. They weren't in the previous game. So maybe with him we'll go Dauntless. Yeah, then he can kind of be my center, front line sort of guy.
Certainly got their hands deep into Blood Bowl, don't you think, Bob?
I know the Bloodweiser CEO,
Got
Jim.
quite a bit of money.
It's not hands, it's claws.
I'm kind of trying to be careful about not increasing my team value too much, but even the money that's over 150,000 is adding to it, so I might as well do something. A reroll is not a bad idea. Adding another Hobgoblin isn't a bad idea. As you can see, I could add a Minotaur as well, but I think they're a little pricey for what they do. So I think I'll go re-roll here. We're just pushing up to 1760. Yeah, not much I can do about it. I almost always have the higher threat team value or threat rating or whatever it used to be called, team value. It just means you're going to have to deal with a lot more enemy opponent star players, dirty tricks, taking your rerolls away, stuff like that. But yeah, that'll about do it for today for the stream. So just putting these up because why not? I'm going to be playing anyway, so I might as well go ahead and broadcast it. People can check it out, and then down the road, people can look at it on Twitch, and I can also throw it up on YouTube down the road at some point too. I've got the first one up there as well for the previous game. This is only my second stream, so again, thanks very much anybody who's watching now or in the past, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.